Donald Trump's TV habits, he denies watching up to 8 hours a day, are becoming the stuff of legend, but it appears the medium that made him a star needs him just as much. On many days, some U.S. news networks devote more than 50% of their airtime to talking about the president. But you might be surprised which network mentions him the least. We tracked mentions of the name Trump in U.S. cable news screen tickers over the last few months. On 19 days, he is talked about more than 50% of the time on 2 of the networks. That's more Trump than all of the other news put together. Of 3 major U.S. channels, which one spends the most time at or near 50% Trump talk, and which would prefer to talk about something else? It's left-leaning MSNBC that is most obsessed with the president and right-leaning Fox News that mentions him the least. What's driving the agenda? Let's look at how the networks get worked into a Trump frenzy. On some days, a tsunami of Trump-related stories pushes his chunk of airtime above 50% on 2 of the networks. Here, MSNBC picks up stories from the New York Times and CNN. As a result, the network spends 2/3 of its program time talking about the president. But on other days, it's one big Trump story that turns the attention on him yet again. Even on a Sunday, he takes over MSNBC and CNN when he attacks NFL players for kneeling during the national anthem. Only Fox News manages to find an Obama-related angle to the Trump/NFL controversy. On October the 1st, we see a rare trough. All U.S. channels interrupt their Trump talk to cover the Las Vegas mass shooting. A few days later, it's situation normal as the president resumes his place as king of cable news. Many other major stories are unfolding: California bushfires, Puerto Rico's hurricane devastation, and Harvey Weinstein's sexual harassment allegations. But the president is again the focus of more than 60% of airtime on CNN and MSNBC. This tweet was picked up by CNN and MSNBC but ignored by Fox News. 5 days later, it's again a smorgasbord of negative Trump stories. Except on Fox. At the end of October, we see Trump mentions fall again, but not for the reason you'd think. Here we see the name Mueller take center stage. But it's still technically a Trump-related story. And the Trump mentions head back up once it becomes clear that the men being charged have direct ties to the president. Fox is the only network to go big with news that the Clinton campaign partly funded the infamous Trump-Russia dossier. In early December, there is a perfect storm of Trump stories, that can only be described as exhausting, that pushes his percentage to its highest level since we started counting. It's wall-to-wall Trump as the networks cover no less than 18 stories either created by him or related to him. At several points during the day, the only way to avoid him would be to turn off cable news altogether. So, 1 year into this Trump fest, are people tuning out? It does seem so. Once the also-ran of the big cable news channels, MSNBC is now regularly beating CNN and is a serious rival to Fox for the first time in nearly 20 years. Its viewership has doubled and its flagship nighttime program The Rachel Maddow Show is flying high, challenging Fox News' Sean Hannity.